loves, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. Hi, hello, my name is Loey, and I have another really creepy paranormal story for you. Alright, so here's the deal about my paranormal kind of childhood stories about the extremely haunted house that I grew up in. I realized that I don't have a very firm grasp on what I told you guys and what I haven't told you. And what I mean by that is that I actually did a video once in a hotel room in New York City where I told stories I thought I had never told about my haunted house before, and realized that I totally had told all of them after it went up and about 1,000 people told me. So I kind of need to dedicate like a few hours and go back and watch all my stories and understand what I've told you, what I haven't, and maybe make a more firm timeline on this, because I remember these things. I remember all of the creepy occurrences in my house, but I'm starting to realize I don't really know what I've told you and what I haven't. So this is gonna be a story I know I've never told because I only remembered about it not that long ago. Before we get into the video, I wanted to quickly say this cardigan is from my collection with Charming Charlie. This is a size medium. You can see there is a ton of room. It's very oversized, very baggy. I think anyone could wear these. They go from a small to an XL, and really it's gonna be oversized and comfy on anyone. So if you like it, make sure to shop my collection down below. This story is about a time that I think I was attacked by a ghost. I know I made a story about how I was attacked by whatever was living in my house at that moment in time, and how I had a TV like thrown at me and stuff, I think back in December. I'll link it down below if you're curious. I think that was the scariest thing that ever happened, but this is a close second. I can't make this up. Like, this is one of those stories that honestly, I don't know how to explain because it's so unbelievable, but at the same time, like, I don't know. I could never just pull this out of thin air. So here's kind of the situation on my bedroom, and maybe I've kind of explained my bedroom at this house before, but my room at my haunted house that I grew up in was a room with two doors. One door I had blocked off with my bed, and I'm gonna try to scour and see if I can't find a picture to show you this, to explain the layout of the room. So I wanted to toss in what photos I could. Obviously, I had never really taken a good photo of my room, but you can see the door behind me, and I feel like you can't see my bed very well in that, but hopefully you can hear that my bed is really like carving out this side of the room because that door was unusable. And then here is me playing the piano in our dining room, and you can see the china cabinet completely blocking the door off, so there was zero access into the room. That thing was heavy and huge. And then here's just another one of the door. I know that's not very helpful, but it's all I have. So it was blocked off by my bed because on the other side, my parents had it blocked off with their china cabinet. And they had this really beautiful, like gorgeous china cabinet that they kept all of their valuables in, and like my grandma's tea sets and her chocolate sets and things like that. And so the door was already blocked off on that side because my parents needed a place to put it. And before they put it there, they said, "Lo, is this okay? You obviously have your other door in which you can get out to the hallway, to the bathroom, and then into the main house." And I was like, yeah, of course it's okay. Like, I don't need two doors. I won't use two doors. There's no point. The other thing was, of course, from a parental perspective, honestly, if I had used my other door, I could have just snuck out and like left my house in the middle of the night, to be so honest with you. And so it was safer, made more sense, helped with space, so on and so forth. So my door is blocked off by not only my bed, but a huge, heavy, unmovable china cabinet on the other side. One night, I wake up out of a dead sleep to hear my doorknob rattling from that door. Keep in mind, the door is closed off by my bed. The door is also closed off by the china cabinet. There is nothing on this earth that can open that door, and the doorknob is rattling like someone's trying to open it. The doorknob finally twists, and the door moves slightly, and I feel my bed sort of shift from the weight of the door being open, and then it closes. That quickly. Very fast, quick succession. It literally happened so fast. I was like, did I just dream that? Was that even real? So my bedroom door literally opened, and there's no explanation for it. At this point in time, I had stopped telling my parents about the paranormal things that were happening to me in that house because they either wouldn't listen they didn't believe me sometimes, or they didn't want to hear it. Like my dad kind of got to this point where he was like, just stop talking about it. Like he didn't want to hear it. He didn't want me to talk about it anymore. He felt like it was making things worse, and he said to me that if I just ignored it, it would go away. And so I tried really hard to go back to sleep. I didn't go back to sleep. It woke me up at like 2 in the morning, and I literally sat there until 5 when I had to wake up for school. Actually, at that point, I think I was waking up at like 6. So I stayed awake for a very long time and just stared at my ceiling and watched the door to see if it was gonna happen again. And I was too afraid to like leave my room and go see if someone had broken into the house and had moved the china cabinet. But of course, the next day when everyone was awake and when there was starting to get like light in the house and stuff, I did leave the room, and of course the china cabinet was exactly where it was. So that happened, and then the very following day was when the next thing happened. So that was a Friday, and I went to school, everything was fine. I woke up on Saturday morning to the most ungodly like sound. I can't explain it to you. I can't explain to you what the sound was because I still don't know myself. And it sounded like my fan in my bedroom. So that's probably a good thing to point out. I had this fan in my bedroom, and the fan was going around the room, obviously. Not like traveling around the room, but it was spinning. So the best way that I can explain this noise to you is that it sounded like the fan on steroids. The fan, I look up and is moving so quickly. And it's like, you know that kind of like whoosh, 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 whoosh noise you can sort of hear from the, I don't know if I can even explain that. I don't know if that even makes sense. But the noise that a fan would make normally, just like going around the room, doing its fanly duties. I hear it, but it sounds like that, but like amplified by a million. I look up and my fan is spinning so fast, faster than it's ever spun before. And keep in mind, this is like a ceiling fan. This isn't like a fan that I plug into a wall. And on top of that, the ceiling fan is right over my bed. This is why I've never told this story, because I think it sounds so unbelievable. The fan keeps moving faster and faster and faster as I'm slowly waking up, and it drops from the ceiling. My light fixture fell out of the ceiling, like wires and all, out. I start screaming and I jump out of bed because it's hanging like this far from my body. My parents immediately run into the room. They see what happened and they're just like, their jaws just drop. It literally, the fan, the light fixture, the whole 9 yards just fell. And I tell them what happened, that it started going really fast, and then suddenly it came out of the ceiling with 0 warning. And we wound up getting our landlords at the time to come and look at it, and they did wind up fixing it. But from that point on, I never turned on my ceiling fan ever again. I also moved my bed so that it wasn't under that ceiling fan, because all I could think about was, what if it had come down just a bit further and actually fell on my body? All of that glass and all of the weight and stuff, and it still makes me cringe so hard to think about. And honestly, I don't leave on fans in rooms that I'm going to sleep in or where I can't watch them now, because every single time I look up, I expect them to be going faster and faster and faster until they literally fall out of the ceiling. Let me also like quickly say that my fan had never done that or had one of those episodes before where it just started spinning as fast as it possibly could. I mean, it had never done anything like that. So it was really bizarre, super freaking scary. And of course it happened the day after that whole thing with the rattling like doorknob. And then here is where I don't know if I've explained this part of the story. I used to have dreams a lot about a shadow man, and I also don't know if I've explained this, so forgive me if I have, but I think that when we first moved into the house, whatever energy was there was very light and playful, and I saw a little girl once, and I always assumed it was a little girl because I used to leave toys laying around and stuff like that. And I've talked about the whole thing where my closet, like I had these motion censored hoodies and they were lighting up in my closet like someone was walking back and forth, things like that. It seemed very playful when we first moved in. It didn't seem dark, it didn't seem evil, it didn't feel bad. It was just like, oh, here's like a creepy thing that's happening right now in our house that we just moved into. But then I think that something happened and there was something a lot darker that was there. And I don't know if it just took time to come on. I don't know if it attached itself to my family. I don't know what it was, but I would have these dreams about this shadow man. And one time in one of the dreams, I saw him standing next to the little girl that I had seen. And he was like towering over her, and she looked really, really, really scared. And what I took away from that dream was that this man was overpowering her, and he was a negative and bad and evil energy or ghost or demon or something, I don't know. And that he was he wasn't gonna let her do anything, if that makes any sense. So like all the stuff that was happening, like little things moving here and there, just like seeing a little girl sometimes, hearing footsteps, so on, so forth, whatever, toys moving, it's fine. Just little things like that. It's like that stopped, and it was all replaced with things that were a lot darker, like my bedroom door opening when there's no physical way that it could have, or the ceiling fan falling out, or the TV getting thrown at me, like I talked about in one of my other story times. So like I said, I'm gonna take some time and go through all of my haunted house videos and figure out what I've told you guys and what I haven't, because that house that I grew up in is so haunted. Like something was seriously wrong there, and I know that I've talked about how it was built right next to an Indian burial ground. My friends and I used to go to this graveyard and be really disrespectful and like take pictures in the graveyard and stuff like that all the time right across the street. This is not the Indian burial ground. This was a different graveyard, but it was also an older graveyard. Like I said, the Indian burial ground had been built on top of, and I think it was roughly a quarter of a mile or a tenth of a mile. It was very close to the house, but this other place was just a regular old graveyard that my friends and I used to go in and take pictures and stuff like that, and we would talk about the different graves, and just like it was really disrespectful now looking back at it. Number one, just to the people who had passed, and I was a young kid and I was so stupid, and I wish I had never done that. But also, like, my brother and his friends also, before we moved out of that house, went there once and did like an EVP session and heard something, and my dad made them delete the video because it was so scary, and no one to this day has ever told me what was on the tape. So maybe one day Christian will talk about it. I feel like we were just bringing really bad and really negative energy into that. One time a friend of mine and I even like started making a fake Paranormal Activity parody video, and like we're like reading the French Bible and just weird stuff, you guys. I feel like I brought so much stuff upon myself in that house, and to this day I wonder if I've ever shaken that dark shadow man that I used to see all the time. And if you guys want to hear more about my dreams about that shadow man, let me know down below, or just give this video a thumbs up and I'll do more videos. I know you guys love creepy things, so I love talking about them with you. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.